On the morning of August 27th, one soldier wrote that the sun rose with a red and angry glare. Shortly after dawn, the British and Hessians launched their diversion. 1 hour after the fighting began, the Americans heard the roar of cannon behind their lines and realized they were surrounded. Now the Hessians, with bayonets fixed, closed in. To buy time for his men to escape, General William Sterling, with 250 troops, counterattacked. 5 times the Americans charged. 5 times they were driven back. Washington sent in reinforcement, but the battle had turned into a rout. On Long Island, the Americans had fought their first formal battle and lost. On the British side, 400 soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing. But Washington lost nearly 1,500 men. The Americans were now trapped on Long Island with their backs to the East River. But hours passed, and the British did not attack.
Here was where the legacy of Bunker Hill occurred. General Howe was in a position to destroy Washington's army if he moved quickly. But Howe hesitated. He wanted more information. He wanted more men. He paused, and when he paused, a storm blew up.
The day after the battle, a heavy rain fell all day and through the night. While it fell and the British waited, Washington began to round up boats. At dawn on August 30th, 3 days after the battle, sniper fire from the American camp mysteriously ceased. General Howe sent out a patrol. It soon returned with an astonishing report. George Washington, with 10,000 men, had vanished in the morning fog. As George Washington abandoned New York City, his officers debated burning it down. In the end, both the commander and the Congress said no. And the British moved into their comfortable winter quarters. But just after midnight on September 21st, 1776, fire did break out. As the blaze spread, so did rumors that it was started by the Patriot Underground. From his camp on Harlem Heights, Washington watched as a fourth of the city turned to cinders. The day after the fire, the British captured a young American spy.
Nathan Hale was an interesting man. He was tall and apparently very athletic and agile. When the war broke out, he joined Washington in New York, and when they asked for volunteers for an intelligence mission, unfortunately for Nathan Hale, he volunteered.
Hale had almost finished sketching the British defenses when he was betrayed by a loyalist named Samuel Hale, his own cousin. When questioned by General Howe, Hale confessed freely. He was sentenced to be hanged the next day.
Nathan Hale was a very brave man who used that scaffold to talk to the militiamen. And he said, don't worry about me, and don't be afraid for your own life. And he was reported in the New York papers as saying, if I had 10,000 lives, I would give them all for my injured, bleeding country.